Hi guys, welcome to Real Football Talk. I'm your host Hassan. I have Bilal and Ade with me. For those of you still watching us, please make sure you subscribe and like our videos. We'll be talking about Arsenal crashing out of the Europa League semi-final and Man United going through to the final, which was pretty much confirmed last week. First, we'll start talking by Arsenal crashing out of the semi-final and what a abysmal performance from them, to be honest. Adi, what was your take on the game and how Arsenal started and played throughout? Really,
I th- um I thought after deservedly got kicked out. Really, I mean they
agreed.
couldn't believe the first half. Even the second half, the whole game. They barely went out of first gear. And for a semi-final, it was quite comfortable for Villarreal. I know after hit the post twice with Aubameyang, but in general open play, Villarreal were clearly the better team. They're more comfortable. That the players more better on the ball, better at playing the ball out. Um, Arsenal looked better. Only time they looked decent was on a counter attack when a fast break from Villarreal's attack or set pieces. Other than that, in open play, I thought Arsenal's football was poor.
It didn't look like we were going to score at any points because I mean, we weren't even getting the ball in. Two, it just looked like sideways passing without any effect
Yeah,
in
and
any
and
play.
and that was the strange thing. In the last 10 minutes, I think one ball went into box where Bellerin uh, toe poked it, and nearly looked like makes a. Other than that, it was still comfortable, and I was just waiting for the onslaught, like the consistent onslaught to
Me too.
start. But I was, you have to, be really impressed with Villarreal the way they just broke up the play and comfortably just, played their game,
But
and they kept getting the ball in the other end of the pitch, and yeah, it was
they, they,
really
they,
experienced
they showed a lot
performance.
of experience. They showed a
Yeah,
lot of experience and the way they were playing, the patience, and in pressure situation, winning those fouls. Um, but one thing I wanted to mention because I was listening to Arteta's press conference, he goes, "Arsenal deserve to win win the tie," and I was just amazed by what he said.
but he does that every time Arsenal lose or draw. He goes on like the better team, and that's part of the. I think that's part of the problem is the players think they're better than they really are. The performances are always exaggerated. So that's Arsenal at the moment. This Arsenal team, they think they're better than they really are. The league doesn't lie.
Exactly.
Today's performance doesn't lie. I mean, they turn it on in the odd games,
We,
but
we do not deserve to be in the final. I'm
yeah, I
happy
mean,
Villarreal went there.
yeah, they, but the thing is, it felt like a lot of the ties felt like it was a struggle for Arsenal every round. Like there was always a scare in every round with
Yeah.
Arsenal, and then eventually they might pull away. But it's like it was never easy, and and I think that first stuff is what Arsenal always do. They start slow every game, every first half. You might as well, they might as well just turn up second half. There's no point them even playing the first half. Every first half they play so slow,
Methodical.
methodical, systematic, really slow-paced football. And you just wonder what is the point of you turning up in the first half if all you ever do is look to go for it in the second half.
I mean, I'm gonna
You think it's
bring
because
Bills in.
they don't have
Yeah,
the
sorry.
caliber of players?
No, go on, carry on,
I
Bills.
just
I was just
do
gonna
you
ask
just
your
think
opinion.
you think that's the reason they're playing like that is because they don't have the caliber of player that is required to play at the level that Arteta wants them to. Because obviously he's used to coaching better players when he was at City, so he's probably trying to bring over them ideas to Arsenal, but he doesn't have that quality of player. What do you think?
No, I think he hasn't convinced his players enough. No, because I mean, I still can't believe that Holding and Pablo Mari are ahead of at least Gabriel. Like, how the heck is that? I mean, today when I was every time Holding was on the ball, I felt like laughing. And he kept giving him. He couldn't play a forward ball. He could not even handle the press of Villarreal, and I was thinking, how on earth is this guy playing forget Premiership. We're talking about the Europa Cup semi-final. He couldn't pass the ball out.
I'm surprised he didn't start Chambers, Adil. I'm surprised
Every
he didn't
time
start
he got
Chambers.
pressed, he lost it or gave it away. And I was like, what on earth? How is Gabriel not starting? Like, I don't know.
This selection problem has been an issue with him throughout the whole season, where he's just favored.
Did Xhaka get injured like in the warm-up or something?
Xhaka got injured in the warm-up, so that's why Kieran Tierney came on. Or else I think Xhaka was going to play left back.
That's a regular thing that's happened quite a few times as well. Players getting injured in the warm-up.
Yeah.
It already says they're probably a bit too much touch and go in the first place. But yeah, I do think the problem with Arteta is the style of manager he is. He needs to do what Pep does at every club that he goes to, which is clear out all the players and get and bring in, spend money on new budget. And then what happens is the players that are left, they all end up listening to Pep because he's cleared out a lot of the old guard straight away, and he stamped his authority with youngsters who will listen to him. So then the players that are remaining end up giving him that respect. I think the Arteta is similar type manager, and he needed that, but he's not got that at Arsenal because the problems at Arsenal are much deeper because the players aren't good enough to sell even. A lot of them aren't wanted by other clubs, and they're on high wages, so they're hard to shift.
There's too many dead woods.
Yeah, and then partly they don't want to go because it's comfortable and on high wages. So I think in that sense, Arteta has struggled with this squad. But the thing that still is damning for Arteta is the players he's signed. He's not even relying on them. Like Gabriel's a really good example. You made him your main defensive signing, and you don't even trust him to play in a semi-final. And I mean, I can't understand it.
For some reason, since Gabriel had COVID, after that there was a switch. I don't know why it was, but he just did not play him consistently. I don't know why it is, whether it's something happening in training or not, but he just does not play him. He just brings him in on all the game.
I think it's just that thing. He's going to players who will just follow instructions. But they're not players like Holding and Pablo Mari, and that's why even he's going as far as playing Xhaka at left back and not even playing Bellerin or Finger. He's playing Chambers at right back. And the only threat really from Arsenal today was Bellerin. When he overlapped, he got some decent crosses and creating chances. And even there, that's a strange choice why Chambers has been ahead of him in the last few games.
I mean, I don't know. Some of the things that he's doing is just purely not good enough. Bills, I mean, with regards to Villarreal, I mean, how much credit do they deserve? Because I mean, obviously, they dominated both games, and deservedly in the final.
I feel they deserve huge credit. Obviously, Emery has huge experience in the competition. He's got the know-how. He knows how to win the competition, and I think that experience just showed. I think he played on Arteta's lack of experience. Arteta chose the wrong time to experiment with tactics. First leg, going without a striker. This one, poor substitutions, I feel. He waited till 80 minutes to make a change, and the change that he made when he took Aubameyang off, and
strange,
which when you need a goal, which made absolutely no sense. And I think Villarreal were resolute and defended really, really well, and I think they deserve to go through on this complexion of the two legs.
I mean, Arsenal, obviously you're an Arsenal supporter. You're proudly wearing the T-shirt, which is good. But what did you make of Smith Rowe's performance today?
I mean, I don't. At a certain moment he looked good, but overall he was leaving. I mean, I know it's not his position playing centre mid.
He looked terrible in the middle for me.
He left Partey exposed so many times. He was literally just one man. And what bemused me was we had El Neni and stuff. Why not play him? I mean, he's a central midfielder. Play him. But why would you play someone like? And another thing, a lot of people are raving about Odegaard. This was a game for him to step up. What did he do? It shows lack of quality. He's not ready for what?
I think the Odegaard one is quite harsh because he ends up always having to come in too deep to pick it up because for some reason Partey can't find him or he doesn't shift enough. The movement ain't there. The midfielders aren't good enough to get the ball to him in the 10. So he ends up coming in front of the defensive mids, and then the defensive mids tackle him or overpower him.
But
I just think, yeah. So no, just saying. I don't think he's good enough, maybe, or the Arsenal team ain't good enough in getting the ball. They're comfortable going out wide and going to the runners.
No, but the other thing is, we take, if you look at it, Holding, Mari, all of them, they take too many touches. They wait for so long. Like Partey, there was a lot of time. He made the put it into him, hit it into him. That's what we're playing. We're playing it to play out. So you have to trust your players. If you're taking 5 seconds on the ball, then obviously the guy's going to come and press you. You're passing it back to the keeper, and that momentum you're trying to build up is going. And then we're just going back side to side and losing the ball. I mean, like you said, Holding, giving the ball away and causing ourselves trouble. And this has been the problem the whole season with Arsenal. The players not good enough.
Yeah, but so really, what's the verdict? Because he's been playing these players. By now you'd have expected them to be able to play out from the back and understand the system. Today it looked like a fish out of water, especially I thought Smith Rowe in centre mid was terrible. He didn't know when to press, he didn't know positioning. He actually looked confused on the pitch. He didn't know what he was doing. And for such a big game, I just think Arteta didn't want to make a tough decision in dropping one of his young players. And the strangest thing is, we say it every week, the one young player that looks to be performing every time it comes on just doesn't get a start. Martinelli. Even again today, he harassed a bit better than anyone else.
But he looked like he wanted it, Adil. Unlike the other players, he looked like he wanted it. He wanted to win. So
again, Saka, another big game where I don't know. It's hard to be harsh because he has performed in big games, but there's a couple of crosses, and he just did, really fluffed his lines, and I just thought he's feeling the pressure of the situation. And just when you look through that whole squad, I mean, when David Lewis ain't playing, it just looks like it just lacks leadership.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, abysmal.
What do you think, Bill? Do you think Arteta is going to survive this? Because 10th place finish and not out of Europe.
I feel 9th in the league, crashing out of Europe. His performances haven't shown anything. The club hasn't moved forward. I wouldn't say they've improved under Arteta. I feel like even under Emery, the football might not have been good, but they were attacking a lot better. Arteta has improved defensively, but I just don't think he'll survive it. I don't think he has what it takes, and it just shows. At Chelsea, they got rid of Lampard early on, and making that decision actually worked. And I feel like maybe it was too soon for Arteta. The job is too big. He doesn't have the players that he needs, and I don't know if they're going to give him the players. So I don't think he's going to make it.
But what club could Arteta go to where he could demand that type of status? There is no club. I mean, your first few jobs, you have to prove yourself, and then you can maybe go to a club where you have that kudos and that authority to demand, getting rid of X amount of players and bringing in X amount. It was always going to be like that, Arsenal.
I mean, I still think he should stay. I mean, I don't know whether they're going to get rid of him or not. That's the question. But I still think they should give him another transfer window season and then decide from there where he goes.
If he does stay, they have to back him. They have to back him. In
That's it. They have to back him and get rid of the dead players.
Yeah, the problem with Arsenal, the recruitment is terrible. It has been very bad for quite a few years now. Like Willian, big money, complete flop. Like I haven't seen anything from Willian.
Hasn't scored a goal all season.
Yeah. Then signing, I think David Luiz was a bit of a panic signing or luxury signing. They should have been signing players that are hungry for the game, hungry for the team, that will fight for the team, and not just players with fancy names or fancy tags. These are players that are probably going to think they're bigger than Arteta. They're thinking, who is Arteta? Like, to come in and start demanding from them. So I think that's the problem there.
And that, clubs in trouble when they every year they're relying on the loan market for first team players. That tells you that they can't attract the caliber of players that they want, so they're taking the technically good players but backups of big teams. They're not good enough for the big teams, but they're good enough for Arsenal. And I don't think when you're a big club and you're relying on loan signings 2 or 3 every year,
you're not a big club.
That just means you're no longer a big club, because one, you can't afford the players, and two, you can't attract them. So I think Arsenal has got a huge problem right now. And yeah, even though I don't think Arteta deserves to stay in the job, you don't want a situation like Spurs are in, where they're out of everything. Well, they may squeeze into 5th place in Europa, but highly unlikely. But they haven't got a manager, and all the big names don't want to go. So I think if Arsenal's got rid of Arteta now, they may end up in the same situation. Like, who's going to be willing to come in to a club who needs that much of a rebuild, and there's discontent with fans, and on top of that, you're not even in Europe to attract big players,
and you don't get the money given for you to spend either. So
I think, yeah, you're right. Maybe they may have to stick with Arteta just in the hope that he gets back. If he has a bad start, I mean, game over really for him.
I definitely think he needs to stay and maybe get a few more players in, get rid of some of the players that he doesn't want, give him the opportunity again, and that's it. If it doesn't work out, and he's gone.
One thing he had done in this is he's proven his similarity to Pep Guardiola in really messing up decisions and tactics and formations in a semi-final of a European competition. In that sense, he's definitely following in Pep's footstep. I mean, and that's the thing. He waited until the injury time before he actually changed the formation and brought Eddie Nketiah on. And you just think no other manager would wait until the first minute of injury time to actually change the formation. Like, why do you still need Pablo Mari and all these guys at the back?
You don't.
Tierney, and they're still, even in injury time, they're playing the ball back.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, deservedly they got out, and then I think to Rob Sultan, the one who's Emery who did it.
Yeah. Kudos to him,
And when you look at the Villarreal team, I mean, there's nothing there that I mean.
Adi, you say that the main player or threat in the counter attack, Chiguzi, he
came off injured
as well. So it's just incredible how would you say immature and naive.
Come on, they're playing Coquelin. I don't know how old is he now. Coquelin,
it's about 29,
35, 36. I don't know how well into his 30s. They're playing Arsenal rejects and they go into the final.
Adi, the goalkeeper was making mistake. He was dropping the ball left, right, center, but for some reason we still didn't challenge him enough. We didn't put enough ball in there. That tells you these players don't know what they're doing. That goalkeeper
other than the Smith Rowe chance, which was again, like you said, is more because the keeper didn't grab the ball. Other than that, I can't remember a real clear cut chance. I mean, I know Banning hit the post. That was a great header, though.
We didn't. We didn't
lucky with the header.
If you look at it, we didn't.
Yeah,
a clear cut chance. But it's been the problem in the last 5 home games. We only scored 2 goals. That tells you. That tells you all we need to know. And this has been the season where we've lost the most at home. So,
yeah, I don't get. I don't get how they waited until the last 2 minutes to get Laxer. There's so many things wrong And the thing is, all of those things point back at Arteta more than the players for me. So,
I mean, I
I
still
think he's
think
focused
yes.
mostly on defense.
I mean, Arteta
And
does.
I say that he's been most.
Sorry,
Oh, God.
sorry guys.
No, I was just saying he's been focused mostly since he's been in. What I've noticed, he's been focused mostly on the defensive side. So his mentality just shows that he's not about attacking; it's about trying to reinforce the defense. And I don't know, since he's been in Arsenal's goals, I don't know the actual stats, but it just seems like they don't score many goals anymore.
But
And maybe he was
been
just
the
worried
main.
about conceding and not being able to get that 2 goals.
I think that's because that's been the main problem with Arsenal coming for the last couple of seasons. So he's trying to build from the back and go up, which I agree with. But I mean, he still had maybe he needed a preseason to go over his full idea and concepts. He didn't have that, but we deserve to be where we are.
But the thing is, at the end of the day, he was there last season. It's not like he came in midway this season. He came midway last season. So that's actually 1.5 years. Is a decent amount of time to get your ideas across. And what's more of a worry is it actually seems like he's still trying to stamp his authority on that squad. After 1.5 years, it's like he's always trying to make a point about rules and standards and fitness levels. Like, how are you waiting last 10 minutes to bring Lacazette on? If he's good enough on the bench, he was your most informed player at that time. Him and Martinelli, in my opinion. Get him on. And then Smith Rowe played the whole game. I think Arteta definitely in the last few weeks has kind of lost the plot.
He has.
I think the main issue is they don't have an identity, Arsenal, right now. Like, if I was to ask you what is Arsenal's identity, I don't know if you'd be able to give me an answer because I completely don't.
Yeah, they don't know whether they want to be just a strictly counter-attacking team, or they want to be a possession team, or they want to be a team that plays attacking football. It's always a wait and see.
Yeah, it's like
let's see what the opposition do, and then we'll react off that.
Yeah,
I think they got big problems in the summer.
Yeah,
it's going to be tough to get kind of outplayed by a Villarreal team when you needed to win at home.
Aging
is as low as it gets.
We could even score a goal, so that says it all. I mean, on that note, let's flip to United and Villarreal, who will be in the final. What did you make of Bill's United's performance today? I mean, kind of it was done, so you could understand them not going for that much.
They're already partying, already thinking about the final. Oli made quite a few changes, not that many. Still had his big players like Maguire, Pogba, Cavani was there, Bruno was there. Made some changes. Bailly came in instead of Lindelof. I just felt like the passing wasn't sharp. Defensively, they were non-existent. Within the first few minutes, Roma have 2 good chances. If it wasn't for De Gea, I think Roma could have made this game a lot tighter. But yeah, I just felt like the mentality was we're already through. So the performance was basically non-existent. Didn't really matter. I don't think they would play like that in the final. If the game had something to play for, it would have been a lot more tighter.
It'd have been
A
different.
lot better performances. The players just couldn't motivate themselves. That's what I took from it. Other than that, I thought Cavani was absolutely class again. What a signing he was. I'll be honest. When Man United first signed him, I thought, what are they doing? That's a panic signing, 33-year-old. But he's proven me wrong. He's, especially for what the younger strikers coming through, they could learn a lot from him because he's absolutely class.
I thought the performance was unacceptable. It actually shows why United just aren't a top team. You can't see any top team put a performance out like that. And every other team that wins titles would have played that game in a professional way and seen the game out. we were fortunate. In the first half, De Gea saved us. In the second half, De Gea saved us.
Yeah.
And the second half saves he did were very lucky. He didn't even know he was making those saves. The ball
They were
was
straight
hitting
at
him.
him.
But it could have easily turned into 4-1. The two chances that Dzeko, it was just fortunate that De Gea's positioning was where it was, because he didn't know where that shot was going. And I think that's the problem. This is why this United team just struggle to go over the line, is because they can't play with any pressure. They got no leaders on that pitch. What was Maguire doing on that pitch today? He's too scared to shout at anyone. There's nothing about that performance that you'd say, you know what, actually this team is going to win titles. It's going to really go for things. For me, it just proved that there's actually a huge gap between where they are. It is an Arsenal type of performance. The players actually think they're better than they really are. Shaw was an absolute joke. I don't know how you can even, he should get fined for the way he performed.
Why
He didn't
not
want
play
to run, he
tennis,
didn't want to do
Adil?
anything.
Why not play tennis if the guy doesn't want to play?
And that's the thing. And you could tell when Tellers came on, he wasn't happy and he's making mistake, and all the goals were coming from his side, because he just, he could tell he wasn't motivated. Because how on earth is a Brazilian international that much of a risk when you're 4-0 up on I could understand not starting Brandon Williams, fine. But how is a Brazilian international that bad that you can't start him when you're 4-0 up? You're killing the player's confidence. You're clearly showing you don't trust him. I think this is Ole's problem, is he can't take the final step, is because he's a momentum manager. When they're winning, he's really good at keeping everything positive, everyone happy. Soon as the pressure's on, he can't get them into gear. I thought that was a terrible performance. Lacked leadership. Any big team would have just done that, a professional performance there. And
my main issue is Man United obviously want to be this big team, want to win titles, want to win Champions Leagues, and they would have seen in this week Man City book a place in the Champions League final, Chelsea book a place in the Champions League final, and they'll be thinking that's where they should be as well. And I thought today they'll send out a statement saying that we belong there and absolutely turn over this Roma side. Just national, just already party.
They didn't want to be there, and that's unacceptable.
But what the
That's
other point is, sorry, Adi, what the other point is, they got 3 games coming up as well. So I'm thinking, if some of these players don't want to play because they got so many big games coming up, even though you can pretty much say second place is done, but there's still big games that you would want to win. United would want to win. So why was there
That's wrong. Second place isn't done, Hassan, because they're playing Leicester and they're playing Liverpool. So it's not done. They're only 5 points ahead.
It's pretty much done now.
No, I think you're being naive there. 4 games in 8 days. Second place is not sealed.
But then that still brings the question: why play most of your key players?
No, he obviously wanted to, only wanted to keep the experience on. You can get caught out, but if players are going to play in that way, then you're better off playing the youngsters. If you're not going to get into them and make sure the players play with leadership, because this was a game where you just needed guys talking, guys leading, and keeping, they like I said, the tie was done. They didn't have to do a workman-like professional performance. But half the players didn't even want to move. They didn't want to do it. And the funny thing is, the only area of the pitch where we have a bit of leadership is up top, is with Cavani and Fernandes. They were running more than half the players on the pitch. And the only positive from today's performance was the performance of Fernandes. It's first time in a long time where I've seen him back to playing like the world-class player he can be, and he is. He looked really sharp today. His link up with understanding Cavani was really sharp. But other than that, there was nothing to take from that other than every player being a complete joke. And if it wasn't for De Gea, we could have easily got knocked out. It's an arrogant performance. Half the players didn't want to be there. And this is why they struggle to get over the line and win titles in big games. You know, I just think they lack that leadership, that winning mentality. There's no other big team that would play the game in that way, the way United players played it. We're talking about big players. We're talking about Pogba here. We've got Fred, who's a Brazilian international. You've got Maguire, who's like the vice captain of England as well. You know, you got a lot of big players who played for international teams, and they showed no leadership.
I mean, it seems like a pressure of the situation. But I mean, even then, the final, it looks like, I mean, against Villarreal, United still would say favorite to kind of go on and win it.
Yeah, I mean, that Villarreal attack doesn't scare you. Paco Alcácer looks a shadow of the player he used to be. I mean, Chukwueze, if his injury is serious, that'd be a great shame, because he looks like a player that can give Luke Shaw a run for his money. And you know, Moreno's a nice little clever player, but his finishing looked poor today. I don't know. I mean, as good as Villarreal played the ball out from the back and their build-up plays quite neat, they don't look like a team that's great. I mean, I do like Pau Torres at the back, but even then, you know, I think their defense ain't great. I mean, you know, Arsenal, without having much creativity, just getting balls in the box was causing problems for Villarreal. So, yeah, I would say maybe Man United are happier to play Villarreal than Arsenal. I think Arsenal was a much harder fixture because they have got quality players that could have, you know, won the game. So I think United should be confident in the final, but had they got the leadership and the winning mentality, I mean, that's the thing. The way they performed, these type of performances can become a habit. The way you're only as good as the last game you played at the end of the day. And Aston Villa is not an easy team to play against. They're very difficult to play against. They're defensively, you know, defending very solid, and they're quite good on the counter attack. So, you know, it's now the week has become a very difficult week.
Bills, what would you make of United's chances?
Like I said, on paper, they're the favourites. They would much prefer Villarreal than Arsenal, because Arsenal have been giving Man United quite a bit of problems last few years. But like I said, that performance that we saw, and if they feel like they've already going to win it just because they're playing Villarreal, that could be the problem. And you have seen them struggle against the weaker teams, breaking them down. And so the only problem will be themselves, really, I feel. But I do feel
that front line looks too deadly, though, isn't it? That front line of United,
yeah, with Pogba, Rashford, Cavani, Bruno, I think they'll have too much for Villarreal.
I mean, yeah, if Raul Albiol is in the defense,
I mean, he's 36.
I mean, I'll be shocked if Cavani doesn't get a few goals, because you know, Raul Albiol,
I'm confident, but you never know. It's the mentality they have on the day, and do they have that winning mentality? Obviously, Pogba's been in the World Cup final and won it, so hopefully he could bring that leadership through. Like I said, it just all depends on their mentality, and they cannot play like how they defended today.
And you got to go back to the first half. It was they choked there as well. You know, Roma went in halftime 2-1. Yeah. If it wasn't for crazy tactics in the second half of Roma, United would not have come back. I mean, it's been such a long time since United played against a team that gave them the counter-attacking space that Roma did in that second half. And that's the only positive, is United's counter-attacking still looks as deadly and clinical as it has been. But every other team in the Premiership realised that, and United haven't been able to play that counter-attacking style. So to see Roma do it in that second half was suicidal, and it was their undoing. But I can't see, looking at the way Villarreal played, Villarreal won't leave those gaps. So, you know, United,
I mean, Emre is a experienced manager in this kind of thing. I mean, he's won 3 titles, so I'm sure he'll come up with an idea, some way to counter United.
You're relying on Emery. He's your hope.
I'm not relying on Emery. I'm just saying, because he's his fourth time going there. So I mean, credit to him.
Yeah, but he's lost the last one, isn't he?
Yeah.
Fifth time.
Yeah,
He
with
lost the
Arsenal,
last one
yeah.
with Arsenal. So you know,
I think United on the day will have too much for them.
Too much for them, yeah.
I'll be honest. Cavani just looks very, very quality. He knows how to find them spaces, and Bruno's starting to get into the act again, and at the right time as well. The only problem is that 4 games in 8 days is going to be how Oli handles that, because he doesn't really like to change. It depends on how he handles that, and hopefully he doesn't pick up any injuries. So he has to rotate his squad quite well.
Well, just main hope is Cavani doesn't get injured, really.
I mean, big week
so
ahead
he's
because
got-
of the
he's
amount
got
of
playing
games for United.
Sporadically.
Yeah, against direct rivals as well.
Yeah.
You know, Leicester, Liverpool,
Mm.
it could become, you know, second place could become in jeopardy if they don't, you know, get the result.
Fair enough.
That's it.
Thank you.
But yeah, I feel we'll do all right.
I think United will be
Yeah.
fine. But thank you both for coming on. Guys, please like, share, subscribe as always, and share out to family and friends. And see you all soon. Thank you.